Welcome back to Poole Stadium for our third and final slice of action on this edition following the 2004 Pirates. It's been almost a month since we began this edition because once again the Pirates' bad fortune struck last Wednesday in their match against Bellevue, calling it off here and washing it out, unfortunately postponing it till later in the season. Well, the Pirates haven't been without action, of course. They've been in action since the last time we saw them here in no less than 4 occasions away from home. And the results have been fairly mixed, I've got to say. They've done a 50-50 record out there on the road, winning 2 and losing 2. The wins, perhaps surprisingly, came at Oxford, first of all, with a 1-point victory, which was enough to secure the bonus point. From there, Pirates went on to Bellevue, where unfortunately they missed out scoring the points and not managing to win that match. And again, likewise at Ipswich, unfortunately failing 50 points to 43 to pick up the points at Ipswich. But there was good news on the horizon, because on Monday, in front of the Sky cameras, Pirates came good. They looked to be really gelling as a team at last, and with their new look Pirates, they went out the victors 51-42 at Peterborough. So certainly a good week's work, or a good start to the week for the Pirates, which continues tonight with the visit of the Swindon Robins, which also features a quick return for the Robins, because the Pirates will be back at Blunsdon tomorrow night. Well, for me, one of the absolute stars of Monday's fixture at Peterborough was Matej FERJAN. Matej, up until the last race, you had 11 points in the bag, you dropped 1 single point, and that was just a fantastic performance from you.
Yeah, I was happy, you know. I like big tracks, you know, especially Peterborough was good, and I had a really good start, you know, and the track suited me, and I was quite happy, yeah.
We saw you fly out from the start in your first one, and I've got to say, when you make a start like that and you get your first race under your belt, is that what really helps to make sure that you've got the right setup and spurs you on to get all the points?
Yeah, you know, if you make a start, it's a lot easier to get around the track. You know, you can choose whatever line you want, but, you know, that's up to every rider what they want, you know. But I like to go good from the start and make sure and go good.
Okay, well, let's hope that that continues this evening and again tomorrow with another big track, of course, up at Swindon.
Yeah, thank you very much, yeah.
Well, of course, the other Pirate that came really good on Monday was Krzysztof KASPRZAK. Krzysztof, we haven't spoken to you before on Pirate videos. I know your English is a little limited,
yes,
but it was great to see you in such good form on Monday.
Yeah, it's good ride. It's two first hits. It's very, very difficult for me. It's very slick track. Three hits, gate number 4. It's changed the sprocket, it's perfect. It's very fast in the outside, inside, it's perfect.
And tonight, do you feel that you're going to be ready to put in a similar performance?
Yeah, I will try the same result in the Peterborough. I will try good ride. I have new engine, will be good.
And tomorrow night, a track that you're a bit more familiar with as well, Swindon?
Yeah. I must good ride today.
Well, good luck. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Neil, the boys really looked as though they gelled at Peterborough, and I've got to say that was perhaps the answer to your dreams anyway.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we've had a few sort of indifferent results, you know, obviously losing at home, but say that sort of got us back on track, and that's what I said before the meeting. It was a meeting that we didn't want to win. We had to win to sort of keep us, keep us in top form, and keep people thinking that, yeah, Poole are still going well.
Wolverhampton are obviously closing in. The gap has got a little bit smaller, and I've got to say that the playoff places between Team 3 in the league, Team 7 in the league, there's only 4 points in it. I mean, it's absolutely neck and neck this year, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's why I think it's so important for us to... I mean, we've got the points in the bag already, and say Wolverhampton are getting very close to us now, and so we've really got to keep our wits about us, and we've just got to keep the pressure on, and just keep trying to get those bonus points that are so important this year as well. That's the main thing to get.
Now tonight, obviously, the Robins come. They've got a much stronger-looking side, and they're also on a bit of a winning streak as well. So I'm sure that you'll be telling the boys that it's not going to be an easy task tonight.
No, that's right. We've already had a bit of a chat when we did the track walk before the meeting, and I said, I mean, this is probably the toughest test we're going to have this season. Eastbourne came here with a sort of mix and match team of pool specialists, whereas Swindon are coming with their own team and their pool specialists. So it's going to be really, really tough. Obviously, Leigh ADAMS, Ruud know the way around this place. It's going to be very, very tough, and I think what's going to play a lot tonight is the reserves, and hopefully Daniel and Krzysztof for us, who rode Krzysztof exceptionally well at Peterborough, hopefully he can continue that form this evening.
Now tomorrow, of course, quick return to Swindon. Is that a good thing? Do the riders respond well to that, having 2 matches on the bounce, or can that be problematical as well, that they don't get a break if anything goes wrong?
Yeah, I think possibly, like you say, if something goes wrong, then it can be a bit of a problem. But hopefully, you know, sort of all the boys obviously stay in tomorrow. Most of them are staying. A lot of them are staying with me. So, come and do the bikes tomorrow, get everything sorted, and straight back up there, and it's done. And you know, if we, you know, hopefully we win this evening, and then we'll still be on a high. And also, you know, if we don't do well tonight, then obviously we go there tomorrow. We're more determined. We haven't got time to dwell on it. We've got to get straight back into race mode. And so I don't think it's a bad thing.
And finally, I know you've said to the guys they've got to get past that home defeat. They've got to look to the future. That's
right, as I say, and I think we've done that admirably. You know, went to Oxford and won there. And say Peterborough, 2 good wins. I mean, possibly 2 tracks we possibly thought we weren't going to win at. So we sort of cancelled out the home defeat. But it's always disappointing to lose at home. And also the matches we've been winning, we've only been winning by sort of 3, 4, 5 points, and that makes it extra hard to get the bonus point. And as I say, I think come the end of the season, that's really going to play an important part.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the boys being pumped up tonight. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's good to see this guy back in action. Daniel, the last meeting down here, unfortunately you were missing. Maybe that was the card that the Pirates needed, because without you, of course, they took their first home defeat. But hopefully you're feeling better tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. It's been a week and a half since that, so I'm ready again.
Okay, you're feeling fit, and I've got to say that at Peterborough, you certainly popped out in your first one and looked good. But after that, perhaps the Peterborough track not suit you?
I struggle big time to get the speed around there. I feel I can make the gates, but I just feel I don't have really enough speed around yet.
I know we've spoken before about the fact that tracks over here are much slicker than perhaps we're used to in Sweden, and that's been tricky for you to get the setup just right for the slick tracks, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's been my biggest problem so far, but I feel I can get a hang of it now, just to get out the gates when it's slick, and that feels really good for me.
And I know that there's a big push to try and get some funds raised for you, because I know you're still chasing that new engine, which could make all the difference. So fans, if you're watching, this is an opportunity for you to make the difference here, and maybe if you've got a few extra quid, then it ought to come Daniel's way and it could do some good.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, 2 people that really know their way around the Poole circuit from 2003 and again in 2004, Leigh ADAMS and David Ruud. Leigh, back for the Swindon Robins, and I've got to say the Swindon team really getting it together just right now.
It looks pretty good, you know. We've been struck with injuries all year, and to be fair, this is our first time we've got 7 riders since Charlie got injured. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We've got a couple of unknowns. Obviously, Charlie's just come back, and Andy's injured. So, but we're here to screw it on, and you know, we got our backs to the wall, and we want to make the playoffs, so we need a win.
Well, David, of course, you are one of the riders that have been making the difference, and particularly with your first Elite League Maximum recently as well.
Yeah, it was really good for me, and I'm feeling that I'm coming back, and my confidence is coming back, and everything works out well for me. The bikes are perfect, and I'm feeling good as well.
I'm sure that both of you relish the chance to get back round Poole. A happy hunting ground for both of you.
Yeah, no, it's nice. To be fair, the track looks really good tonight. Possibly the best I've seen it, you know. It looks excellent, so we'll see what happens.
Leigh, and I don't like to resurrect these things, but I know people may be curious. Last time you were here, obviously, you were a bit upset with the way things went in a certain race, Heat 9, with a certain Magnus ZETTERSTROM. Is that all behind us now?
I guess so, you know. I was pretty angry at the time, you know. The worst thing was he turned left on me and stopped me, you know, and that's pretty dangerous when you come off the turn and you get prepared to pass a guy and suddenly he's turning left and trying to put you on the centre green. But, you know, hey, let bygones be bygones and get on with it and go racing, you know, so, you know.
Absolutely. Well, we know that's the case, and Leigh, we know you're one of the top guys, and we're looking forward to seeing you go around here.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, David. Well, the Pirates may well be at the top of the league, but it's getting close up there at the top, with Wolverhampton closing in on them, and they'll want to gain all the points that they can from these next 2 matches over the next 2 days. A good start would be tonight, and they'll be making sure that they try and build up a cushion of points to take with them to Blunsdon tomorrow. Let's see how they can do that. We'll follow the next 15 races with interest, and to do so, we'll go and join Graham and Rob over there on the first turn.
So riders lining up for race number 1 then, this eagerly awaited local derby between the Pirates and the Swindon Robins, Elite League B fixture. Remember, the Pirates won the Elite A fixture by 56 points to 38. Quite a trouncing that was. I'm not expecting the scoreline to be anywhere near as wide as that between the 2 teams. I'm expecting a close scoreline today, and who other than Leigh ADAMS to represent the visitors in heat number 1 here. It's Bjarne PEDERSEN in red on grid 1 for the Pirates. Magnus ZETTERSTROM on grid 3 in blue. Leigh ADAMS goes from 2 in the green helmet, and a former Pirate, David Ruud, currently riding extremely well, picking up 6 to 10 points a match for the Swindon Robins, and he goes from grid 4. So very potentially evenly matched race here in heat number 1. Up go the tapes and away they go. A good start from Leigh ADAMS, cuts across on Bjarne PEDERSEN, and equally good first bend by David Ruud to come around the outside there and join Leigh ADAMS. So just as we suspected, it's the two Swindon Robins riders who are attacking that first lap, and you can see the team riding skills of Leigh ADAMS there, taking a couple of quick looks across his shoulder to catch sight of David Ruud. He'll be looking as they come out of the pit bend once again, looks behind him, David Ruud deciding to do the safe thing and tuck in on the line because Bjarne PEDERSEN was in close order. But I think with a lap to go, that the Swindon Robins have got a maximum race win set here in heat number 1. They do indeed, because with half a lap to go, Leigh ADAMS out in front in the green. In the yellow for the Robins, it's David Ruud there, drifting wide, but he's got enough in hand to put it across on Bjarne PEDERSEN, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM, sadly they're trailing some way back in 4th place. So opening maximum to the visitors. So what can the Poole reserves do in heat number 2? Can they pull back some of that deficit suffered in the first race, thanks to that Swindon maximum start? On grid 1 we've got Oliver Allen in the green helmet, and on grid 2 Daniel Davidsson. Daniel was missing from the Pirates' last home match a fortnight ago, the ill-fated home defeat at the hands of the Eastbourne Eagles, and I think his presence in the team should stabilise the bottom end of the Pirates lineup. In grid 3, recent signing for the Swindon Robins, Peter Young, former Eastbourne rider, and who can forget his contribution towards that Eagles win a fortnight ago. He's back again to haunt the Pirates, possibly. Krzysztof KASPRZAK completes the lineup on grid 4 in the blue helmet. He was one of the heroes in the Pirates away win at Peterborough, and indeed it's a smart first turn by the two Pirates as Krzysztof KASPRZAK and Daniel Davidsson get away smartly, and in fact it's Daniel Davidsson in the red helmet on the inside there who's doing the team riding, and KASPRZAK on the outside in blue. They're not too far ahead of Oliver Allen and Peter Young, but sufficiently there to give the Pirates hope that they can pull back a 5-1 this time to square it all off. KASPRZAK 9 points from 3 heat wins in 5 rides, and the away win at Peterborough Panthers on Monday. Coincidentally, the last time that Swindon were on the track was also up there at Peterborough when they managed to get oh dear, here's me just wandering, and it's Krzysztof KASPRZAK there, looks as if he's just running out of fuel on the run-in. Oh dearie, dearie me. That bike seemed to be going so well in the first 3 races, but first 3 laps, I should say, of the race. But on the 4th there, he just ran out of power. Whether it was fuel or whatever else it was, he's far from happy, and looks very much as if he ran out of fuel. So anyway, we got a drawn race, 3 to each side, and that moves the progressive total on to the Pirates 4 and the Swindon Robins 8. And tough luck on Krzysztof KASPRZAK. So will the Pirates' luck improve in race 3 after Krzysztof KASPRZAK went back into pits absolutely furious with the mechanic, and I'm not expert in Polish, but he wasn't very happy about the fuel situation. Let's see what the Pirates can do with Antonio LINDBACK in red on grid 1, in blue on grid 1, Matej FERJAN, his partner, on grid 3 in the red helmet. For the Robins, it's Andy Smith in green from 2, and Steve Johnson goes from grid 4 in the yellow helmet. That's how they line up as the tapes get away there. A little bit of a hesitant start from Antonio LINDBACK, but a superb start from grid 3 from Matej FERJAN. Continues where he left off at Peterborough, where he was absolutely flying, winning 3 races on the big Peterborough circuit, and he's way out in front. Sometimes he starts off a little bit unsure of himself, and it's Antonio LINDBACK who's doing the covering spot in second place, the team riding. He's been fairly quiet on the scoring front in recent matches. I think he had a little bit of trouble adapting to the Ipswich track in the Pirates' 7-point defeat there. He was only picked up about 4 or 5 points at Peterborough, but nevertheless, when the Pirates can score well and Antonio not necessarily depended on for big scores, then that says something about the solidity of the Pirates line. As we see here, because they're way out in front, Matej FERJAN, a little bit unsteady on the track, not a copper plate textbook style race from him, but nevertheless very, very fast indeed. Matej FERJAN takes the checkered flag from Antonio LINDBACK. Andy Smith was third, and Steve Johnson trailed off at the back. 5-1 to the Pirates. That does level it up, 9 points apiece. On to Heat 4 then, and with the scoreline all square at 9 points apiece. Let's hope that this time Krzysztof KASPRZAK has a full tank of fuel, because I believe that it was half empty last time, as we saw in Heat 2, much to our disappointment and his horror, and maybe his mechanics' embarrassment. But that's all behind us now, because I'm sure he'll go on and make his mark in this race when he comes out, as I say, on the inside grid. He's up against Peter Young, who didn't look that hot in his first race. He was in last position till he had that stroke of fortune when Krzysztof backed up. And Peter Young goes from grid 2 on grid 3, flying Ryan Sullivan and completing the lineup, making a return to the Elite League after a 10-week injury layoff, Charlie JOHNSTON in the green helmet. Away they go then, and Krzysztof KASPRZAK is way out in front this time on the first bend. Ryan Sullivan drives around the outside, and the Pirates once again looking at a potential 5-1 situation at this early stage of the proceedings. Ryan Sullivan then in the red helmet out in front. Krzysztof KASPRZAK sitting on the line very nicely. In the back there we've got the Swindon pairing of Peter Young in the yellow helmet, back in third place. Doesn't seem to be putting the same sort of points power together as he did when he was here with Eastbourne a fortnight ago. And Charlie JOHNSTON maybe just taking it a little bit easy in his first match back in the saddle after that long layoff, injury layoff, and he's clearly not going to score any points this time unless Krzysztof has further mechanical misfortunes, which he is not going to suffer. And Ryan Sullivan takes the checkered flag with Krzysztof KASPRZAK for the Pirates. So for the first time the Pirates go out in front with that 5-1 to lead by 14 points. The Swindon Robins 10. On to Heat 5 then, and Leigh ADAMS, the only Swindon Heat winner so far in the opening race. Can he repeat it this time in Heat 5 when he lines up in the green helmet on grid 3 with David Ruud, who's on grid 1? And out for the Pirates pairing, who also pulled off a 5-1 in their first outing, and that's Matej FERJAN in the red helmet going from grid 2, and Antonio LINDBACK in the blue helmet is going from 4. An interesting racing prospect here, because obviously both pairings are in good form tonight. Swindon have the advantage of the inside, and Matej FERJAN, of course, very sharp from the gate, but maybe some of his lines are not that brilliant. And in fact, he wasn't really ready that time. I think those paces went up rather too quickly for the Pirates, and it looked to me as if neither of them was ready. And certainly Matej FERJAN was not at the races on the approach to first bend there, and he's trying to catch up on David Ruud, but maybe passing from the back hasn't always been Matej's forte, if I could put it that way. And coming out of that fourth bend, he's always looking to drift rather wider than he really should be. Antonio LINDBACK very quiet at the back of the field there, maybe lacking a little bit of the sparkle that we expect from him. And at this stage, with a lap to go, Leigh ADAMS, no surprise to see him well out in front, but maybe David Ruud could have expected a bit more of a challenge from the two Pirates. But half a lap to go, the Pirates are going to see their narrow 4-point lead wiped out, because it's going to be a 5-1 to the Robins, and scoreline then goes to the Pirates 15 the Robins, 15. So who's going to be the first rider to split this Leigh ADAMS-David Ruud pairing? We'll have to wait and see. On to race 6 then, and what's going to happen this time to split these two teams, because they're locked on level points at 15 each, with Magnus ZETTERSTROM, the Pirates captain, going from grid 1 in the blue helmet. Lined up alongside him, JJEDDE. He's in the green helmet for Swindon. Bjarne PEDERSEN in blue from 3, and Oliver Allen from 4. One thing that these two pairings have in common is that they've both been on the receiving end of a 5-1 in their opening race. So someone's going to be in the money this time. Going to be the Pirates. Is Magnus ZETTERSTROM going to capitalise on that grid 1? We're about to find out as the tapes go up, and away they go. In fact, Magnus does get a fairly good start there, but it looks as if JJEDDE gets a slightly better one, and Bjarne PEDERSEN comes right round the lot of them, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM finishing up at the back there. So, oh dearie, dearie me, it's all changed. Bjarne PEDERSEN out in front from JJEDDE. In third place, it's Oliver Allen, potentially picking up a bonus point behind his partner in this one, and once again Magnus ZETTERSTROM seems to be suffering quite badly at the back, and if he can't find a little bit more speed from somewhere, I don't think it's too long before Middleditch will be looking down towards his sharp reserves. Krzysztof KASPRZAK and Daniel Davidsson looking pretty good so far tonight, and it could be that Magnus ZETTERSTROM may only complete his quota of rides under the rulebook, which I think is 3. But Magnus disappointing at the back. No problems with Bjarne PEDERSEN out in front there after a disappointing heat 1. Bjarne bouncing right back in heat 6 with the heat win, and that shares the spoils. 3 to each team, and a scoreline: 18 to the Pirates, 18 to the Swindon Robins. So with the scores still level at 18 points apiece, we move on to race 7 and match in the critical mid-races. Both teams looking to try and take an advantage. This time the pairing for the Pirates, Ryan Sullivan on grid 2 in the red, and his partner Daniel Davidsson in the blue goes from grid 4. Daniel Davidsson already showed his gating prowess earlier. I wonder if he can do it this time. He's got Andy Smith on grid 1 in the green helmet to contend with, and Steve Johnson in yellow helmet going from grid 3. So it's all about the first bend, I think, this time. If the Pirates can get their noses in front from the starting gate off the more difficult 2 and 4 starting positions, I think Pirates could be in for a race win. Away they go. In fact, Ryan Sullivan and Daniel Davidsson do get their noses in front, and that was a superb gate from Sullivan, and he sees his young partner as he just takes a little look at the corner of his eyes there. And Daniel Davidsson on the outside, Ryan Sullivan on the inside. Team riding, Poole Pirates style, with Steve Johnson in third place in the yellow helmet, in fairly close order at this stage. Half the race gone then, and the Pirates out in front. Could be on for a 5-1, which would put them 4 up once again. And of course, one thing they have to be aware of is that if they go 8 in front, it'll be that man Leigh ADAMS who is sure to be out in a tactical ride. But so far the Robins are still in close enough order for that not to be an option for them. On to the last bend, Daniel Davidsson, he's flying tonight, really good, showing no ill effects of the injury that kept him out of the saddle a couple of weeks ago after a tumble in Sweden. And there we saw a 5-1 to the Pirates then, Ryan Sullivan doing the team riding bit, and it means that the Poole Pirates now move to 23, and the Swindon Robins on to 19.
Shooting his partner around 4 or 5 winning advantage in heat number 7. Come on, Wimborne Road, it's Ryan Sullivan!
Neil Middleditch makes that change in heat 8. It's Daniel Davidsson for Magnus ZETTERSTROM, coming in with Krzysztof KASPRZAK, David Ruud and Peter Young for Swindon. Look at that start there in the blue helmet from Krzysztof KASPRZAK. Daniel Davidsson was left a little bit from grid 4, but he's making a valiant effort to come round the outside, which he does indeed, to join Krzysztof KASPRZAK. Superb first lap by the 2 young Pirates reserves. And that's Peter Young in the yellow helmet, with David Ruud having packed up on the first bend. And Peter Young there the new Swindon signing. He was in sensational form at Peterborough, their match winner, scored an absolute hatful of points at the top of their score chart, but he's not doing very much here this evening, and the two young Pirates there out in front for another 5-1. This would, of course, put the Pirates dreaded 8 points ahead, and they haven't, Swindon haven't got Leigh ADAMS out scheduled in the next race. He's not due out for a couple. So that'll be a sign of some relief, but the most relief is the Pirates have that 8-point margin, because that was a superb win by Krzysztof KASPRZAK, who's clearly in excellent form. Daniel Davidsson recovering from not one of his better starts by coming around to take second place behind Krzysztof, and the two young Pirates are going to celebrate with a lap of honour past the grandstand, who I'm quite sure will show them their fullest appreciation, which they do. 5-1 all the way then, and that makes the progressive totals a little bit more comfortable. 28 to the Pirates, 20 to the Robins. So an 8-point advantage to the Pirates as we come into race 9 now, with the Swindon Robins got the inside starts. Charlie GJEDDE in the green on grid 1, alongside him Antonio LINDBACK. On grid 3, Oliver Allen in the yellow helmet, and coming from gate 4 with a win and a last place to his credit so far, that's Matej FERJAN. Matty, very much seemingly one of those riders, he'll either win the race by a mile or he may be sort of trailing off somewhat at the back. Very rarely much between those two options, and the Pirates, of course, Wimborne Road faithful, will be hoping it's very much the winning option that we see this time, although he has got the rather difficult gate 4 to gate from, but he gets a very sharp one, and as indeed does Antonio LINDBACK, who had a very, very quiet race in his previous outing, but it's the two Pirates that are out in front at this stage, Matej FERJAN and Antonio LINDBACK from Charlie GJEDDE, and bring up the rear, Oliver Allen. So the Pirates looking to potentially extend their lead to 12 points, as Heat 9 is looking very promising at the halfway stage. Matej FERJAN out in front, looking fairly cool on the track. Antonio LINDBACK with that very compact and stylish riding style into the last lap now. The two Pirates together. Matej FERJAN taking a quick look over his shoulder, reassuringly sees his young partner covering the inside line, and around the final bend it is. And Pirates 1 and 2 extend their lead to 12 points. Matej FERJAN the winner. We got the winning option that time, as we had hoped for. Antonio LINDBACK second, and in third place Charlie GJEDDE. Oliver Allen was fourth. 33 then to the Pirates, 21 to the Swindon Robins, and I'm sure Alan Roster will be looking at that tactical ride rule closely, seeing if possibly he can find a rider to nominate for Heat 10. So with a 12-point advantage, Pirates facing up to race number 10, and Alan Rossiter has been busy in the pits. He's nominated Steve Johnson as a tactical ride. Somewhat surprising in the way that Steve has been on the receiving end of 2 5-1s in his previous 2 outings, although astutely he has got grid 1, and of course Steve has previously shown his liking for the track. And his partner in green helmet on grid 3 is Andy Smith. For the Pirates is the pairing of Magnus ZETTERSTROM in the blue helmet going from 2, and Bjarne PEDERSEN in the red helmet going from grid 4. Now Magnus clearly been out of sorts tonight. Can he recover the situation here as the tapes go up? And he's away. He gets a reasonably good start, but Bjarne PEDERSEN gets a better one from 4, blasting up the inside, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM following him through in second place. So it's Bjarne PEDERSEN and Magnus ZETTERSTROM, but Steve Johnson comes back underneath Zorro there, so we've got a potential 4-2 situation. Andy Smith at the back in fourth spot, and he's about to mount a challenge on Magnus, but all eyes out in front on Bjarne PEDERSEN, comfortably in the lead. So at this rate, if the positions stay like this, the tactical ride move is only going to secure a 4-4 result, because of course Steve Johnson in second place will get his 2 points for second doubled up to 4, whereas of course out in front Bjarne PEDERSEN will get his 3, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM, if he can hold on, not only will he boost his flagging confidence a bit here with a third place, but also we'll find that he'll give the Pirates a drawn race, which indeed he does. So Good to see Zorro getting amongst the points for the first time this evening. 4-4 then, and the scoreline 37 to the Poole Pirates, 25 to the Swindon Robins. Well, heat 11, and Leigh ADAMS on gate 4. What can he do? He's had 2 unbeaten rides, and so has Ryan Sullivan. In fact, Ryan Sullivan and Daniel Davidsson, both Pirates unbeaten so far this evening, and Leigh ADAMS is unbeaten for the visitors. For good measure, we've got David Ruud with 2 unbeaten rides and an engine failure, so 2 of the key pairings so far in this match. And interestingly, Alan Roster has not nominated Leigh ADAMS for a tactical ride, even though the Swindon Robins still trail by 12 points, 37-25 the scoreline. We'll just have to see if we can find out exactly what the thinking is there. Maybe they're looking towards the bonus point, and we'll pick another race where Leigh ADAMS can do that. Possibly in heat 13, but we'll have to wait and see. Up go the tapes, and that's a good start by Sullivan, and Davidsson comes through the space, although David Ruud does get a good gate, and Leigh ADAMS looks as if he might be on for a covering role as Ryan Sullivan blasts out in front. Leigh ADAMS is now through to second, David Ruud third, and Daniel Davidsson at the back then. So the 2 Aussies out in front for their respective sides, and the 2 young Swedes battling at the back. But they're all spaced out. I don't think that Leigh ADAMS is likely to make any impression on Ryan Sullivan. Ryan's in the groove, he's out in front, and unless he makes some sort of a slip on the track, I think that Leigh ADAMS can kiss goodbye to his unbeaten tally so far this evening. But Ryan Sullivan, me just having said that, does leap coming out of the pit turn, and Leigh ADAMS there looking as if he's having a bit of bike trouble. He's limping across the line, but just holds on there with a bit of confusion going across the line. I think David Ruud just slowed up because he could see his partner slowing considerably, and David Ruud there perhaps just blocking out any last-minute challenge that Daniel Davidsson could have made, and it finished as a 3-3. Somewhat a peculiar race though, altogether, with Ryan Sullivan the winner, and Leigh ADAMS probably went back to third place with David Ruud coming through to take second, Daniel Davidsson fourth. Scoreline of 40 to the Pirates, 28 to the Robins. So interval cups of tea having been consumed, we're on to race number 12, and Alan Roster keeping at it, trying to keep the rears down. In 24 hours time these 2 sides meet again for the return match at the Abbey Stadium. He's brought in Peter Young, number 7, to replace the out of sorts, probably in the wars recently, Andy Smith. Picked up a lot of injuries, just not doing it tonight, just got the 1 point. So it's the 2 reserves, Ollie Allen, and the reserve change is Peter Young coming in, going off grid for the Robins. For the Pirates, 2 wins out of 3 for Matej FERJAN, and a last place. Paid win, and an engine failure for Krzysztof KASPRZAK. Matej FERJAN has had a good night, he goes from grid 1, and Krzysztof KASPRZAK from 3. Can they keep the pressure on this time? FERJAN gets out the gate, and KASPRZAK seems to get pushed a little bit wide by his partner going into the first bend there, but he bounces back with a vengeance, and he's certainly in good form tonight, and an uncompromising first lap from the 2 Pirates means that they're out in front. FERJAN riding the wide line, KASPRZAK covering the inside, and Peter Young stuck right at the back, so his transfer to Swindon might yet yield some points on some of the tracks that he favours. Was remembering that Jung moved away from Eastbourne because he didn't get on with the very small tracks, and happier with the bigger ones. But he's not happy with Wimborne Road here tonight so far. He's made very little impression on the match. He's just had 3 third places, and Oliver Allen in the yellow helmet here is going to take the 3rd place from his partner. So the Pirates are going to take a 5-1. Krzysztof KASPRZAK and Matej FERJAN do the business for the Pirates, and could the bonus point be a distinct possibility tomorrow night? It looks as if it could be at this stage. It's 45 to the Pirates and 29 to the Robins.
Trying to explain exactly what happened on the machine. They're coming round for a lap of honour, so make them feel welcome in the home straight as we greet the 5-1 pairing of Matej FERJAN and Krzysztof KASPRZAK. And really is to celebrate as well.
And the answer to our question in Heat 11, why was Leigh ADAMS not a tactical rider there, is that quite clearly they were waiting till he had an inside grid. 2 heats later, he's out in Heat 13, and sure enough, he's a tactical ride. So they're thinking about the bonus points rather than tonight's result. Leigh ADAMS then on grid 1 in the black and white helmet. Bjarne PEDERSEN on 2. Charlie JOHNSTON on grid 3. And Ryan Sullivan, so far unbeaten by an opponent, goes in the blue helmet from grid 4. So let's see what the 2 Aussies can do as the top 2 Grand Prix stars fight it out in this one. And Leigh ADAMS has sure enough got out of the gate. Leigh ADAMS in the black and white helmet, Bjarne PEDERSEN challenging on the inside line, Ryan Sullivan in blue around the outside. Well, now this will be very interesting indeed, because at the moment the Pirates are looking at a 6-3 heat reversal. Leigh ADAMS, not a rider one associates with making too many mistakes once he sits on that armchair and starts to drive it, so we can assume that the current 16-point lead will be reduced to 13 points with 2 races to go, and very much a question of how well the Pirates are going in the return match up at the Abbey Stadium tomorrow evening. But for now, we've got Leigh ADAMS showing and reminding us all how he rode this track 12 months ago here as a member of the Elite League winning Pirates, taking the checkered flag there comfortably to capitalise on that tactical ride. Leigh ADAMS then, 6 points for the Swindon Robins. The Pirates packing in the minor places with the Swindon Robins, Charlie JOHNSTON bringing his total on the night to 3 points. And the scoreline, Poole Pirates 48, Swindon Robins 35. On to race 14, the penultimate heat, and 13 points to the good. The Pirates will be looking maybe to build a few more points into this race with Antonio LINDBACK in the red helmet. He goes from grid 3, had a fairly quiet night, 2 second places behind a winning partner and a third. He's paired up with Daniel Davidsson, who has had an extra race. He's got 8 points so far, and the opposition from Steve Johnson and Peter Young. Away they go, and Daniel Davidsson gets a very good start there, and Antonio LINDBACK chops across into second place there to out-manoeuvre Steve Johnson. Peter Young trying hard around the outside, and Antonio LINDBACK gets good drive coming out of the 4th turn there, and the Pirates on for another 5-1. A very, very good start from grid 1 by Daniel Davidsson. He did drift a little bit. Antonio came through into fill the gap, and it really outmanoeuvred the Swindon Robins on the first bend, and it doesn't look at all as if they're going to recover, although Peter Young is trying his damnedest in 3rd place, but it'd be very hard put to do anything with the 2 young Swedes out in front of the Pirates for another 5-1. So Daniel Davidsson then, his 5th ride of the night, has got 3 wins if he takes the checkered flag here, and win or 2nd place behind his partner, and there goes the checkered flag. Super 5-1 to the Pirates. Antonio LINDBACK there has had 4 rides. He's got bonus points in 3 of them, so very much the team man. 5-1 to the Pirates. They move on to 53, and the Swindon Robins to 36.
You see Ryan and the boys coming out onto the track to celebrate the Poole success in town tonight, and you can see, ladies and gentlemen, just what that means to the Pirates in town tonight. Congratulations to Daniel, congratulations to Antonio. Here they go, celebration time here at Wimborne Road.
Just have a look at that first bend again, because it really was something special from the 2 young Swedes there. Out in front goes Daniel Davidsson from the gate. Superb ride there from gate 1, drifts out, and Antonio LINDBACK coming in the gap underneath and outmanoeuvres Steve Johnson, and away they go for a lovely 5-1. So final race of this Elite League B fixture, the Poole Pirates versus the Swindon Robins, and for the Pirates, who once again in a crucial moment win the toss. Ryan Sullivan goes from grid 1 in the red helmet, and Bjarne PEDERSEN goes from grid 3 in the blue helmet. No surprise to see who's nominated for the Robins. They've been a little bit of a one-rider team tonight. That rider, of course, has been most of the season doing the prolific amount of point scoring. Leigh ADAMS, he's going in the green helmet from grid 2, and David Ruud will partner him in the yellow helmet. He has the prospect of a grid 4. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the two Aussies go from grids 1 and 2 there. Ryan Sullivan has got the advantage of the inside, Leigh ADAMS alongside him, but there they go, blasting out, and a very, very interesting first bend as Ryan Sullivan keeps it screwed on. Leigh ADAMS trying to cut back under, Ryan Sullivan out in the dirt. He's in the lead, Bjarne PEDERSEN in third place. Big heat 15 this, of course. This could take the Pirates to a 57-38 win, which could look good in terms of the bonus point. Leigh ADAMS is hot on his tail, looking to try and square the race up for the Robins, but Ryan Sullivan out in front, Leigh ADAMS in second. Bjarne PEDERSEN seems to have given up any hope of a challenge. Leigh ADAMS challenging up the inside strongly on Ryan Sullivan. Ryan out in the dirt. Leigh having to have the slick inside if he's going to find his own riding line, but it's not going to be enough because with half a lap to go, the checker flag is being prepared, and Ryan Sullivan, although he gets challenged on the inside there, keeps it screwed on. That's an absolutely superb win for Ryan Sullivan and for the Poole Pirates, who win this Elite League fixture by 57 points to 38. And that's a superb win against their local rivals, and it puts the Pirates clear at the top of the British Elite League. Great meeting here at Wimborne Road for the Pirates.
Ryan, absolutely fantastic. I've got to say that if Tony Rickarson was here, he could not have ridden a better race. You must be delighted with that one.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. You know, the track held up fantastically tonight, and they're a really good side, so we knew we had a tough night ahead of us. And you know, I got my head down in the last race. I had the bike really hooked up, and it was kind of on the edge right on the fence, and it was lifting and spinning, and I was going everywhere, so it might have looked smooth, but it didn't feel smooth from my end.
I've got to say that we've seen you getting better and better and better. You've really settled in now. The setup seems to be working, and out there the track tonight as well just seemed to suit that.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable here. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm going around as fast as I can yet, but you know, Maximum's still eluding me as well, so you know, we'll keep going, keep pushing for it.
I'm sure it'll come soon, and I've got to say at Peterborough as well, it was good to see you around your old hunting ground, and you look pretty impressive around there too. Yeah,
I was pretty happy there. My bike went off a little bit in the last heat, and you know, but the main thing is we won. That's what I was. It was all about. You know, I was determined we had to win at Peterborough. That was my old track, and I said to the boys, you know, if we win, the beers are on me, so we're off to the bar now. The beers are on me.
Nice one. Well, you've got another tough one tomorrow, but another big track as well, so I guess with plenty of points now in the belt, as it were, it's looking good for the bonus point.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we didn't expect to win by that much. You know, Swindon have really given some teams a bit of a hiding lately, and we knew they were going to be tough, but to come out, I think it's 19 points in front, I think we'd have been happy with that at the start of the night, and we're happy with that at the end of the night. So, you know, I think after that result tonight, there's no reason why we can't go there and push them for the win.
Well, good luck tomorrow, and let's see the Pirates staying on top of the league.
Yeah, we will do. Thank you.
Well, you can't say that at Poole Speedway you don't get the personalities, and I'm stood next to a very important contestant in the Miss England contest next week at the BIC. Katie, you're paying your first visit to Speedway. So far, what have you thought of it?
It's really good atmosphere, quite buzzing, and yeah, I'm having a really good night.
Well, I know probably your thoughts are more with what's happening to you, because you're telling me that within a 2-week period, your mother's put you forward for a beauty contest for Miss Poole, and you've been selected as Miss Poole, and now you're going to the BIC for something very special indeed.
Yeah, got the finals this Saturday, where I'll be competing against 36 other finalists from all over the country, and I'll just give it my best shot and hope to get somewhere.
Well, you certainly get a vote from me, I can promise you that. And of course, if you win this, that makes you Miss England, and that puts you into the Miss World competition.
You go through to Miss World, which is held in China in October, I think, and obviously greater things to come if you are Miss England. Yeah, so I mean, I do singing I've been training to be a singer for about 4 years, so hopefully, even if I don't win, because there's quite a few supermodels that are in there out of the finalists, but I'm hoping something will come of it on the singing or presenting side, you know.
Well, it's really wonderful to see that within a short space of time from nowhere you can suddenly be propelled into that, and I wish you the best of luck. It's great to see you. We hope that we see you at Speedway again.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks a lot.
Well, we wish Katie all the best with her exploits in the Miss England competition. But meanwhile, the Pirates look as though they'll need no luck at all, because they really have gelled. And tonight, another impressive performance for them. Very much like we said when they went off to Peterborough on Monday. The team have really gelled in their new look. And I've got to say that they must be pretty happy going off to Blunsdon tomorrow with that 19-point cushion. And certainly they must be favourites to capture the bonus point tomorrow evening. Well, that's our last slice of action here on this edition. You can find out how the Pirates did tomorrow evening when you pick up our next edition. But before we close this edition, it's time to go over and feature our next Pirate profile.